So we need to, when we're trying to think about mitigation options, greenhouse gas mitigation options, you have to think about that in the context of sustainable development. You can't and you shouldn't try to get away from it. You cannot only think about the cost. You have to think about the whole picture. Anyway, so essentially, back home or in Iceland, I'm just going to focus on the research we're doing there. And then, of course, this moving down a little bit more. So essentially, we're assessing energy indicators for sustainable energy development, asking, has the past development since 1900 been sustainable? It has, but since 1980, no. So overall, yes, but if you break this up, there are structural breaks, of course, in the data, as always is. They were asking whether Iceland should be a role model for other countries. Yes, it actually can, and maybe it should, but I'll talk about a little bit how. And then we are, of course, linking all of that to greenhouse gas emissions, and we're comparing that to Kyoto commitments and so forth. And I don't know how much you know about Icelandic Kyoto commitments, but we were actually formally allowed to increase emissions by 10%, okay, over 1990 levels, but with a special clause, which not many people realize. We're actually allowed to increase emissions up to 50% over 1990 levels, and still, it's 14 CP4. Sorry. And that actually gives a special permission for energy-intensive industry. That is, they are exempt, basically, from the 10% increase. And so there's a certain limit on how much they are allowed to emit, which is almost 50% of the Icelandic emissions in 1990. Well, no. Well, it is, when the rationale for this was that you have to run these industries, you have to use renewable energy. That's the reasoning. And your country